Hello, all, and welcome to another new episode on the Third Man Musings. So far, we have previewed five IPL sites. Today will be the sixth IPL site that we'll be previewing. The latest one that we previewed was for CSK. So, all you CSK fans, if you have missed out on that video, go back and watch that video and let us know your thoughts. Today, we'll be previewing Delhi Capitals, earlier known as Delhi Daredevils. DC have been an enigma, right? Out of 15 years, despite having good sides, they have only made it to the playoffs twice. So you can imagine 13 times they have not made it to the playoffs, and they have been an underachieving franchise. This year, let's see whether they'll be back at their best. Their recent success that they had was when they had Rabada, Shreyas Iyer, along with Rishabh Pant and Norkia, right? But then they let go of those sides, and now we are again in that dicey situation whether Delhi can make a good team again. So let's hear from the Delhi boys, Sumit Joshi himself, who's
Yeah.
born and brought up in Delhi, on his thoughts whether this can be DC's year and can they fly high again.
So yeah, I did support Delhi. I think the first season when we had a brilliant team, but were there was something off about that side, and then after that they never recovered. They made it to the playoffs initially, and then the joke was Delhi Capitals is like that company which the freshers would join initially and hone their skills for 2 years, and then they would move on to bigger companies and perform. So Delhi had Warner, Delhi had EB de Villiers, they had Maxwell, even Gambhir was there initially, DK was there, so they had a very talented side, but yet they never were able to win anything. So this season, it again looks a bit tough to me, sadly, because Pant is a big miss. And when we were making these squads, when we were making the West End, we figured that okay, that's a really big hole to fill. So we'll go with the squad, and then we'll see how that big Pant size hole can be filled up, right? So yeah, the batting is
Right.
good, but yeah, there are some issues there as well, right?
Right, and
Mm.
and you have hit the nail on the head there, right? Rishabh Pant's accident has unfortunately left a huge void in this Delhi squad because not only was he a dynamic batsman but also the leader of the team, right? Now, obviously, David Warner has been named the new captain, so we have to see whether he can change the fortunes of this team like how he did for SRH in the past. So the batting is pretty good. David Warner, Prithvi Shaw, dynamic openers up front. They have done well in the past, and they will be hoping that can get them to quick fire starts again. With Warner, generally you see consistency. 400, 500 run seasons are pretty
Really.
common for him,
Hmm.
so Delhi will hope for the same again. Sarfaraz Khan in the IPL has not traditionally done very well. Ranji, he hits hundreds for fun, but IPL he's somehow struggled. Maybe the bowling quality is higher than he usually gets at the Ranji level. Can this year be the one for him? We'll have to wait and watch. Riley Russo has been doing very well in the leagues across the world. Even in the PSL, very recently, he was hitting bowlers out of the park very easily. And he's a very dynamic player who can get going from ball one. So he'll be a key one. Roman Powell will have to hold that middle order together. Again, a very powerful striker down the order, and he'll be the key finisher for DC. So DC will have their hopes pinned from him. Lalit Yadav, very underrated player, but last year, whatever opportunities he got in a limited way, he did show that spark. Can he do it again this year? Interesting to see. Manish Pandey, Ripal Patel, Phil Salt, all good players, but they might struggle to make it in the top 11. Let's see if injuries or somebody goes out of form, they might come in, but we'll have to see on that
So,
one. Two
so
quality all rounders, right, Sumit? Your thoughts on them, Akshar and
I
Marsh?
won't. So Mitchell March, I won't qualify as an all-rounder now because he doesn't really bowl anymore. But he's been smacking India in these ODIs, so he is a definite number three. He's the enforcer for the Australian team in the World Cup they won. So quality batsman. He just needs to be fit, right? I mean, he doesn't stay on the park long enough to give his performance. So I doubt he's bowling in the initial stages. He might come and bowl in the latter stages, but if he survives till then, that's another question because this is a very long IPL. So Mitchell Marsh, and that's why I think getting Riley Russo was a very good move because in case he gets injured, you have a very good backup in Riley. Akshar Patel is like one of my favorite cricketers right now because this, and not for his bowling by the way, because his bowling is pretty good. But since Jadeja's come back, everybody's forgotten that this guy was going to be the fastest 250 Test wickets, and now poor guy barely managed it, and he couldn't reach the record. So his batting has been incredible. I mean, he was the best batter in your Test matches, and even today, I mean, India got bowled out for 110 or something. He was 29 not out when he came out to bat at 8. So there's something against him why they don't let him bat when nobody's getting him out. And I hope DC utilizes his potential and he gets a chance because he's a very good batter. He looks a much better batter than a bowler. And his four overs are a bank in IPL normally. And he's a Punjab product, if you remember. So he used to be the best bowler. And yeah, Punjab school
So
of
in this
finishing.
case, Delhi imported a guy instead of
For
exporting
once,
a
yeah,
guy,
yeah,
right?
they
Yeah.
got a better deal. The guy no, blossomed in them
Mm.
in the side rather than going out and then blossoming. So yeah, the bowling looks a bit weak to me. I mean, there are a lot of youngsters and no outright gun Indian bowler, right?
Right, right. I think yeah, Indian bowler they should have had at least one good Indian bowler. But here you see Sakaria. I mean, again, a very junior bowler, right? Had a okay, decent season with Rajasthan, and then he joined Delhi. But last
Mm,
year, I think he got very limited chances. Kuldeep Yadav is the one shining
yeah,
light in terms of Indian bowling. Had a good season last year, right? 20
that
plus
was its
wickets, if
urgent
I'm
year.
not
Yeah,
wrong.
that's when
Yeah,
he came back.
that is how he resurrected his career, which seemed to be on the decline. So in Delhi will be hoping Kuldeep really shines this year, and Kuldeep also has the personal motivation that he wants to be in that Indian World Cup team, right? So a good IPL will propel those chances even further. Khalil did manage a few
Mhm.
wickets last year, 15 plus wickets, right? And he obviously brings in that left arm angle. Is a tall guy, 6 feet plus, so he
Mhm.
can get that bounce. Ishan Sharma, I think, is going to serve his retirement in this particular team and get the PF and gratuity kind of thing, right? But obviously, he's been a workhorse for
The
DC.
Indian cricket team.
The
Yeah.
foreign bowlers will have much more of an impact. Andrik Norkia, two
Mm,
years back, had a very good IPL in partnership with Rabada. They were the deadly duo. But I think
mm,
once Rabada moved out, Norkia had to absorb more of the pressure. And last year, somehow he got around 8 to 9 wickets, if I'm not wrong. So
mm,
this year he'll look to step up. He's been in good form for South Africa. So hopefully he will do it this year. NGD, again, a similar problem like Michel March, where he tends to get injured very quickly, right? He
mhm.
plays 2 good games, bowls well, gets wickets, again injured for 3 games, right? So he'll have to manage his injury issues. Mustafizur Rahman might not fit into this particular team in terms of the
Yes.
playing 11, but if the death bowling is struggling, don't be surprised if this guy makes a comeback. But Sumit, the two greenhorns are very exciting, right? Do you think they'll get a
Yes.
go this year?
I think this might be the year where Yash Dhul definitely gets a look in. Maybe he doesn't
Right.
start, but they have been they keep losing out on these potential under 19 captains is the theory, right? So they missed out on Kohli in the first ever auction. That's the story,
They've
and they
regretted it
could have.
ever since.
Yes, they keep buying these Indian under 19 captains. So Prithvi is there now, Yash is there. So I've heard very good things about him. Whatever little I've seen, he looks a very good player and still very young. So definitely a good year to groom him in with Pant gone. So there's a good opportunity. Kamlesh Nagarkoti again an under 19 star with his very fast bowling, but injury ridden. So let's see if he gets a go. The bowling, the funny part was when they did their auctions last to last year, having three left armers didn't make sense to me. You had Khalil, you had Chetan, and then you had Mustafizur. And the problem is you cannot play two foreign pacers in this lineup because you have three. You need to play three foreign batters with the lack of Indian backups. So that's they will have to alternate. Like if Nokia gets injured, then they might give a chance to the other two. But different type of bowlers. I mean, what Nokia gives and what Mustafizur gives are very different. So they will start with Nokia. So let's see how in the playing 11 we can fit these guys in. So we start with the most scary duo in the IPL opening, and they really did win some matches right from the front with Warner and Shaw. So big year for Shaw. We'll discuss further ahead. But Warner, I think the one risk I see is what Sunrisers also faced, that whenever you have a foreign captain, your flexibility goes, because then you are just going to rotate between your three foreign players, which might not work depending on your conditions or form. So a risky move, but if you see this lineup after Pant, there was nobody really, and that's where I think they missed a year, because a year also wanted to be a captain, so he left. Otherwise, he would have been the perfect candidate. So they didn't have anybody else to give a captaincy. I mean, the only person he has established enough is Akshar, but he has other issues happening where he's not getting chances. So then he would have got to bat actually. If he was a captain, he would have
Yeah.
promoted himself. So openers are very good. Number three, I saw Riley Roos in the PSL, and he's been smacking the bowlers around. Even I think in one of the matches against India, he hit a century in a T20 from
He
number
did,
three.
yeah, he did, yeah.
So he's a very good batsman and a left-hander at that. So if they can fit Marsh and Rousseau both, that would be incredible. But that's I don't think that's possible again because of the Warner factor. If has a very good IPL, there is no doubt. But if he doesn't have a good IPL, then ideally these two should be playing, and Warner should not be. So that tough call you might see. I mean, weird things happen in the IPL with the owners, right? So if the results are not following, you have 5 losses out of 6. You might see captaincy change and all things break loose. So I would like to see both of them, but because of the limitation we have, 4 and 5 looks a bit weak. But that's what happens when you lose Rishabh Pant. So you think Yazul can fit in here? I believe.
Could be, right? Could be
Mm.
because Lalit Yadav again, an underrated player, but Yasdul might bring in some new variety with his stroke play, right? Because they need
Hmm.
some dynamism there, or you never know. Even Akshar Patel could be promoted to five
At
here,
four,
right? One is he brings
yeah.
in the left-handed angle also, and he brings that solidity also, and maybe they can, if they are, let's say, on a given day 40 for three or something, Akshar can go and stabilize the innings up front, and then. Yash Dhool or a Lalit Yadav or a Sarfraz can come later down the batting order, right? So that
Mm-hmm.
could also happen. But I see the need for Roman Powell to have a good IPL, right?
Yes.
Because if he has a bad IPL, there's nobody else who can,
Do
go
the
for the
finishing
runs
job.
in the overs from
Mm.
11 to 20. So Roman Powell really holds the key for me in this lineup.
And that's what in the last IPL with Pant at four, the top four were winning them or losing them the matches. I really don't remember a lot of matches which were won from 6 and 7. So
Right.
Akshay definitely is a much better batter today than he was last year. But Raun Pal again playing in the PSL, doing well, and I think he's playing for Babar's team. So yeah, Babar normally kept all these players who were hitters at the below bottom like 4, 5, 6, and he would just play his defensive game. So he did very well against the spinners. I think that's a quality he has developed because I remember he wasn't so good against spin. He's more a tonker of the pace bowlers, like a typical
Right.
West Indian, right? They struggle against spin, but he is playing spin well, so that'll be a good test for him. Coming to the bowling, Nokia at 8. Again, you see the bowling does not have batting like most of the teams have in the IPL. So Kuldeep Yadav is going to be your number 8, and he's desperately trying to be a better batter than Chahal to stay ahead, which he is, and which is no doubts there. So Kuldeep Yadav at 8, and then your pacers, and that's where the gap is what I see because Khalil Ahmed, uh, I don't know, he has his days. We called him the Indian Wasim Akram, I think, one of the places I heard, and I was like, poor Wasim Akram, he must be wondering what wrong did he do to be compared to this guy. But his celebrations are hilarious. He makes a call to somebody, but nobody picks up. I think what happens because I don't know what aggression he has for whatever reason. So, but he'll play. He had a decent IPL last season, so let's hope he
Yeah.
uh, gets another good season in.
Yeah, but again, if I put myself in the opposition's shoes, the batting is definitely good. But if
Hmm.
I see this bowling, especially Khalil and Chetan Sakaria, Kamlesh
Yeah.
Nagarkoti, I'll be licking my lips, right? That easily you can score runs of this bowling. So, and I think that is the point that we were discussing, right? While they have a good team on paper, making
Mm,
it to the playoffs could be a long stretch for
tough.
this team.
Yes,
Could
and
be
with
a long.
Pandukon, it's way tougher. I think. I mean, they need to have a standout player like somebody like Warner having one of those seasons. Shaw, I know we'll discuss further, but Shaw will have a decent season. Mitchell Marsh has a ceiling.
Right.
Sarfaraz, Lalit, so they don't have an X
Yeah,
factor player. That's where
four,
I
five
concern.
are open gaps again, right?
Open
So they
gaps.
need a lot of things to come together for them to
Fund.
make it to the playoffs.
That's why I'm hoping Yashdul gets a look in. He might be that X factor player which nobody has seen. So yeah, coming to the impact players. So first one is Shaw, and this guy had a incredible IP last year with his strike rate. I mean, maybe the runs are not much, but the impact was there. I remember he hit Shivam Mavi for 6 consecutive boundaries in one of the matches. So definitely a kind of player we would want in the Indian T20 setup. So he's also playing for a spot in the Indian T20 lineup. I don't think he's getting a spot in any other
Yeah, yeah.
format, but
And don't forget, he's had a lot of off-field controversies as
oh
well
yeah,
recently, right?
yeah, the
So
video, right?
he'll
Yeah.
have to speak with the bat now to deflect all those controversies.
So he's again a problem with his fitness. So
Right.
hope he has sorted that out and he has a very good IPL so that he comes back in the reckoning because he's an exciting player. He's a lot of fun to watch. I mean, whenever he's batting, I would watch for some time, and I also know he's not going to bat for long, so I won't have to spend a lot of time. He would stay there for 4 or 5 overs and get out.
He's
That's one
almost
of
like a
the
right-handed Brian Lara, right? I mean, that back left and the
the very
punches in
high
the
punch.
strokes. Yeah,
He's very good. I mean, yeah,
yeah,
just one of those talents who did not get his due. I mean, he could not perform to the. I think the pressure got to him because he was again from Mumbai, right? So again, Mumbai has this legacy. Gavaskar, Tendulkar, then Rohit came about. So Shaw was supposed to be the next big thing, but hasn't worked out. But let's see. He's highly valued by Delhi Devils. They retained him, in fact. So I hope he has a good IPL and it improves his T20 chances going further. Roman Powell, for the simple reason we do not see a finisher, right? I mean, 4, 5, 6, 7. Provided Akshar is a very good batsman, but if there's anybody else who can do something, it's Powell as per us, right? So,
yeah,
yeah.
of course. And coming to Akshar Patel again, this year will be very crucial for Akshar Patel because he'll have to do both things here, and nobody else in this batting lineup or
Mm,
even in this team is capable of doing both things. He's the only proper all rounder considering Michel Marsh can't bowl, so he'll have to bat as well. Make
mm,
runs this season plus bowl and take wickets, right? Because if Khalil, if Chetan Sakaria, and if let's say
mm,
Henrik Norkia has a second low year again, right? Then all the onus falls on Akshar and Kuldeep. Then so at the Arun Jaitley Stadium there will be spin. Delhi
mm.
has been conducive for spin, so it's an ideal track for Akshar Patel, in fact, to shine this year, and he should at least be targeting 20 wickets this season because now
Yeah,
obviously after Jadeja has come
uh,
in somehow
mm.
Akshar seems to have lost that bowling confidence,
Edge.
not being
Mm.
backed enough. So a 20 plus wicket season for him will be good for him from a bowling point of view. And don't forget, he's been elevated to vice captain now, so greater
Okay.
responsibility this season. And don't be surprised if he's the best player in this IPL for Delhi.
Provided he gets promoted.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
provided he gets enough chance.
So one major issue I see again is the lack of six bowling option from the lineup. So you have 7 to 11, wherein the 10 and 11 are also not like certain like show short banks for you, and nobody bowls in the top six. That's where I think Lalit Yadav gets his due. He keeps playing because he does give you those 2, 3 overs at times. Otherwise, yeah, you play Yazdul for him, then you don't have any bowler in the top six like our Indian cricket team. So yeah, they need. There are balance issues also, and they did not have much money also when they were going in the auction, so they could not
Right,
buy anything.
right.
So yeah, you
Yeah.
see what are your
No, this team
take
clearly
on the
has their
chances?
work cut out. There
Yeah,
are good players, and DC fans, we are not saying that it's impossible for DC to make it to the playoffs.
nothing
Any
is.
team on
Yeah.
their day can, make it. But there are
Mhm.
so many holes in this team, right? Especially Rishabh Pant's injury has made it worse. If and the thing for them was last year at least they had KS Bharat, right? So at least if this
The backup.
after this unfortunate incident they could have given Bharat a playing spot, but unfortunately they let him go, and now there's no proper replacement for them. So we'll have to see how this goes. But this
Mhm.
looks a tough year for Delhi, to be honest. If they make it to the playoffs, hats off to them, but we'll be very surprised if they make it to the playoffs this year.
Definitely. Okay. So yeah,
Okay,
chances are
so
less
that
as
was
per
our
us.
preview for DC, folks. So with that, we have now covered 6 teams. We are left with 4 teams. Hope you are enjoying our preview videos. We are also getting to learn a lot while discussing these
Making these
videos, and
squads.
it's
Yeah.
been great fun. Hope you are having fun too watching our videos. So till our next video, stay tuned and take care. And please do like, share, subscribe, and comment to the Third Man Musings. Take care then. See you.
Thank you.